After months with no development on the narrative front, fans of Apex Legends have finally got a new piece of lore to chew on, and boy is it a juicy morsel. In this 6-minute animatic, we see Mr. Silva having a heart-to-heart with August Brinkman about what a father is willing to do to protect their son. All of this culminating with an ominous warning about the future of the Outlands. What's up, you guys? I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre, and we're here today to break down what exactly was revealed in this animatic, as well as share a few theories of my own that were spawned by things said by Mr. Silva in this lore piece. Now, in order to completely understand what was revealed in this animatic, we have to take a look back at who Mr. Silva actually is and what he's done in the realm of Apex up to this point. You see, the man that everybody thinks is Duardo Silva, Octane's father, is actually Torres Silva, Duardo's father and Octane's grandfather. For the last few years, Torres had actually been secretly orchestrating attacks across the Outlands in order to make the Syndicate look incompetent, while at the same time positioning himself as a powerful and competent leader that would be able to succeed where the Syndicate had failed. These secret seeds of conquest would eventually bear fruit, as Torres would be voted by the people of the Outlands as the sole leader of the Syndicate by the end of Season 12. Yet for all the wealth, power, and control over the Outlands that Silva now wields, he is still left wanting for someone to confide him. And so this is where we catch up with Silva, having broken into Ballistic's house to have a nice heart-to-heart with him. Brinkman is initially wary of Silva, and indeed Torres does threaten to hurt his son if Ballistic does not answer the question of how far he would go as a father to protect his own child. August replies that Silva should know exactly how far August is willing to go to protect his son. He's gone so far as to steal his own son's dream from him, because that dream would have gotten him killed. And even though he might hate him as a father forever, at least August knows that his son will be safe from the blood sport of the Apex games. Hearing this, Torres feels some kinship with Brinkman and decides to share his own tale. He goes on to describe Duardo as his one true joy in life, quote, "my tether to the earth." And unfortunately, Duardo grew sick, and Silva Pharmaceuticals threw its entire weight behind finding a cure, which meant hurting a lot of people. Duardo begged his father to stop and just let him go, but Torres refused and continued to pursue the cure, which he eventually found, but too late. Duardo would die hating the man that his father had become, and Torres' new miracle drug, the stim, something he described as the most important medical advancement in human history, was to be used by his grandson as a sports supplement. Torres concludes by saying the life and gifts that Octane currently enjoys should have belonged to his son Duardo, and he's clearly resentful over that. Ballistic notes that Silva already appears to know exactly how far a father would go to protect their children, and further inquires what exactly he's really there in his house for. Silva tells Brinkman he actually sees himself as a father to the Outlands, and that it's his job to protect them from threats that they do not yet see and do not understand. He says there's no line he wouldn't cross to protect them, that he must be ruthless in order to keep them safe, even if it leads to him becoming hated. And he wonders aloud to Brinkman if the weight of a father's burden is worth all the trouble. August answers that while his son Nathaniel may hate him for the rest of his life, at least he will be alive to do so. Silva seems satisfied with this answer, and August is honestly a little bit shocked. Sitting in front of him is the most powerful person in all of the Outlands, and they came to see little old August Brinkman just to have someone to talk to. Torres retorts that paid sycophants and powerful business partners just don't make good company to be vulnerable with. He simply can't afford to show weakness in front of the public. And he does admit that it is nice to have an old friend. Torres rises to leave and thanks Brinkman for his help, stating that he's given him resolve for what comes next. Brinkman asks what is next, and Silva simply replies, "the future." Which couldn't possibly be more foreboding coming from a man like Torres Silva. And this notion that Torres Silva has taken control of the Outlands in order to protect it from some unseen threat completely lines up with the timeline of Apex Legends as it has played out over the last handful of years. In the first few seasons of Apex, we honestly see the Syndicate doing a pretty poor job of handling the games and keeping the people of the Outlands safe. We have the sabotage of King's Canyon in Season 2 that led to the destruction of the Repulsor Tower and the release of all the wildlife back into King's Canyon. In Season 4, you have the arrival of Hammond Robotics, who of course only wanted to take advantage of the Outlands for its rich resources. Furthermore, this caused Revenant to come out of hiding and publicly assassinate Hammond representatives. And the Syndicate's only response to this murder was to put Revenant inside the Apex games. These continued public displays of incompetence would cause Torres to completely lose his faith in the Syndicate's ability to protect the people of the Outlands, and therefore he would plot to usurp them and put himself in charge, seeing himself as the only one capable of defending the people from what would come next. What exactly is it that comes next? We definitely don't know. It could potentially be the return of the IMC, with the forces of Earth coming to assert their dominance of the frontier once again. Or it could also be the artificial intelligence Spyglass, which had previously commanded some IMC forces, but would break off from them and go rogue at the end of the first Titanfall game, never to be seen again. But there's also the very real possibility this could be an extraterrestrial threat that humanity has never faced before. You see, in the Apex and Titanfall universe, while there's plenty of alien life to be found, humanity has never actually encountered another living civilization, only the remnants of one. Titanfall 2 specifically revolves around the discovery of a power source and corresponding machine that appear to have the capability of destroying an entire planet. We never actually learned anything else about this advanced civilization that left the technology behind, so it's entirely possible that Silva knows something about their potential return and is setting himself up to protect the Outlands from this devastation. As far as what Silva actually has planned for this protection, your guess is as good as mine, but I have no doubt that it will involve a continual encroachment of tyrannical power throughout the Outlands until he has the entire area subjugated under his boot and under his control. However, not everyone is keen to let Silva have his way, of course. We have Lifeline and Maggie, who are working in the background in order to discover some sort of dark secret they can use to paint Silva as the nefarious character that they actually know him to be. And if you want to know a little bit more about what I think regarding this plot thread, you're going to want to click the video that you see on your screen right now. I hope to see you all there. In the meantime, I'm not amazing, I'm just mediocre. And I'm out.